You must remember, Pirates, it was the first club in the world who played 7 players from development in the derby. It not happened until now. Not happened. He was Taban Radebe, who now changed the surname for Stema Radebe in the goal. And then you have Benedict Vilacasi in the middle. You have Solimate. And then you have the late Aguilar Emi. You have Jose Macaña. You have Lebojan Moquena. And you have Pomoso Manense. And you not counting yet Leslie Mayantela because he was passed away. The mean is, we had a group of players who coming from the development, and he was playing. And he was playing. The mean is, you will have Manchester United who has 5 players, Beckham, etc., etc. But and then in the bench, it still has development players. We had the honor to have 1 player who played the first game in the World Cup, Lucas Tuala. He came from the development, the Pirates, and the left back. He played his World Cup. Now, I no dispute or deny anyone who want to play young player or no young player. But if you don't have the development basic, then what you do? Buy.
Ballers, welcome to ONSIDE ZA, brought to you by Betway. Get way more. Now, I have in studio with me today former Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs, and Bafana coach, and the man with the coolest name in South African football, Prof. Palacios. Thank you so much for joining me.
No, thank you to you for the invitation. It's my pleasure.
Of course, you are a Peruvian native. You've spent most of your life since then in South Africa. And even more so than most of your life in South Africa, most of your life in football.
Yes, correct what you say. I mean, South Africa is my second country. You know, I've been here from almost 40 years, you know, and then I love the country, especially for the opportunity it gave to me when I arrived for the first time, and the potential of football who have, and still have the country. And also my family growing here, you know, and then it was the honor to come from far, you know, to another continent, and I achieved what God gave me the opportunity, and I'm happy to be here.
And of course, you, in your playing career, came as a player initially to South Africa, and had some great times here in South Africa as a senior professional footballer. But I think a lot of the current batch of football fans will remember you as a coach.
Yes, I come in here obvious when I still no retired by football. You know, I come in here for the invitation to play a 2 exhibition game in Witbank. You know, a beautiful city who gave the love to me and my family. And then he brought me for 2 games, and during these 2 games, he will like the way I play, and he asked me if we can remain to play for the team with the Black Aces. You know, the General Secretary, Mr. Henry Moslongo, it was Mr. Kem, the chairman, Mr. Matt, no, all the Mr. Matt, Mr. Kem is no more in our life, and then I went through to the process, also the apartheid process, you know, but Witbank gave me the welcome to start this life to now I be here in South Africa forever.
Talk to me a little bit about your childhood in Peru from a footballing perspective. I mean, we always picture South America as being that continent for young footballers, just anything they can kick on the streets, you know, every day with their friends, just kicking a ball, no matter where it is, and the birth of talent that comes from young people in South America. Of course, Brazil comes to mind first. but it's something across the whole continent there, where there's a passion for young people in football that's second to no other continent.
I think, God gave destination to different continents. I think God gave to us in South America the football aspect will be the first sport. And this is something who coming in the blood. But also we need to take the genetic aspect from family. Because majority of the players in South America, maybe half coming from family who was ex-players, ex-coaches, And some no, but in South America is very straightforward. Or you have the talent, or you don't have the talent. Or you have the passion, to play in the township, to play in the school. But we all start in the street.
Yeah.
We all start in the township. We compete with another 3 streets down.
Yeah.
And we put the coin, and we play the stone like the goal, and we play without shoes,
Yes.
And the concrete in the street, and we start there. And then from there, you have teams in the township who play a league, very competitive league, you understand? And people who passion, who had a little bit money and buy the jersey, and from the teams. And in my time, obviously, was competition from sponsors who attracts the young player. But the more important competition is the school. The school competition is very high in our time. I mean, you had a primary school, 7 years, you play, no play 11 against 11 in the primary school. You play indoor, 6 against 6, 7 against, A majority of the school, government school have these facilities because the more important you is the basic. And then the basic, you start 6 against 6, 5 against 7. But in my side, I was no initiative for football. I was initiative for basketball.
Wow.
I managed to play in the national team in Peru, but coming in the situation, I need to choose or football or basketball. And then in basketball aspect in my time, it was not any money. It was more attractive. I remember when the basketball team, the Robert Trotter, who had a short, the America short, at the exhibition, and joking with the ball, etc. I managed to play again then. And my brother, who is 3 years older than me, is looking at the twins because we the only two in the family who play for the national team under 18, both. He played before me, and I play after him. And he played a professor, and I play against him also. The thing is, in the school, it's very important, the basic. And then no age restriction. And then we go to high school, the same. No age restriction. The competition is national. And then there, the clubs is way scout you.
Yes, they look at the high school level footballers. It doesn't matter. The age groups are huge. You can have a 13-year-old against 17-year-olds, 14-year-olds against, and that's really difficult at that age group because that 3 years difference in physicality is huge. But the South American style of play, which you get from that close 6-a-side indoor thing, is the touch, is the movement, is the close control, is very important in that style of play. So you can get around physicality if you're good enough.
And I had the honor to be meet and coach one of the best players in Brazil, Didi. Didi was the player who created the free kick over the wall and gone down, who Spanish call it hoja seca. I mean, from the trip coming down.
Yeah.
And this coach, coming to Peru, and I had a lot of coaches who are learning a lot. I had a coach, I always was a young player in any club who I went, because I was graduate professional in the age of 16 years. I mean, I already started playing as senior against 16 years. And I remember majority of the club in Peru, it had a clubhouse, where in the training, and where you camping. You don't go to hotels. It's very few.
Yes.
And then he had the rooms, double bed. No, he had a dining hall. No, and then he had fields. And then he had entertainment, snooker, table, etc. Now this coach in particular, he kid to add a soccer ball to sleep with the soccer ball. It must be in the pillow. Because he say, if you passion of football, this is the person who you need to love, who is the soccer ball. And I don't understand his interpretation only until after 6 months, you ask questions to him. And then when I asked him, he said to me, listen, when you have your girlfriend, you have the girlfriend physical. You love for different aspects. You have your mother and your father, you love that. Now this one is your life. Why? If you lost the ball, your team lost possession. If you lost the ball, you will not scout you. If you will lose the ball, you will not renew the contract. If you will lose the ball, you will not have offer in overseas. If you will lose the ball, you will not have time in the national team. I mean, this is what you need to take care of. And your short passes and your long passes to create goal, to scoring goal. And this was his philosophy. And then I learned from there. We sleeping in the bed, with a soccer ball. And then from the bed, you need to take this soccer ball to training. And you need to bring back. And you need to get clean. The thing is, you growing in the aspect, the football is the passion. And you remember, in South America, when you sign the contract, you know that you go. And then you know what you can do. In my case, I coming from poor family, and my other brothers is build the family. But in my case, we all the brothers, 6 brothers and 1 sister, we managed to buy the house together.
Amazing.
With myself contribute for football. But also, the education we have is very strict. And home, if you're in schooling, you can play. I mean, in the soccer boot, in the room, then my father, when I used to have, my brother buy for me, but you cannot touch the soccer boot if you're not good in study. Good in studies, you need to pass the grade. You cannot be the super study, but you need to pass the grade. And this was the philosophy. Until I finish matric, and then my father said, yeah, finish matric, you must follow. Okay, the first year, you can continue. And then I managed to finish in University of Business Administration, and I schooling from night, because we train in morning and afternoon. I mean, I sleep around 11 o'clock, something like this, and I up 6 o'clock. And then there is the mix about football and your private life. There I start the mix, who is a more dangerous situation for soccer players. It's about the girlfriend, it's about parties, it's about friends, and then there you need to decide. My wife, who I married, now we're going to have 49 years married in 4 April.
Amazing.
In my first girlfriend. I never had intention to have girlfriend here. I never.
Would that be your ultimate advice for young players today?
Correct.
Secure, stable life.
Correct.
Don't worry about chasing a bunch of girls. Don't worry about partying. Don't worry. That will ruin your football career.
I'll be honest to you. I have friends in football, but I never had close friends. I never bring friends to my house, or I go to his house, or I sleeping in the house of a friend. It's not me.
Yeah.
Myself is my family. You will make a lot of mistake. You had a lot of temptation. But in football, it's who is the people around you.
No, your closest friend was that ball that you had to go sleep with at night. Also joining us on the podcast today, Tshepi, darling, welcome.
Thank you, darling. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Hello, Prof.
Hello, it's my pleasure to be here.
Good to see you. Thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure.
Prof, back to South Africa. You've had an absolute wonderful career here, which continues to this day. Specifically, as I said earlier on, in our memory, from the technical coaching, the staff aspect. You were a director of football at Orlando Pirates. Talk to us a little bit about what the role of a director of football is. I think everyone who loves football understands you've got a coach, but is the coach a manager? Is the manager, what's a manager? What's a coach? What's, these different roles, especially in the modern game. I think back historically where you'd have a manager of a football club and he would have a bulk of duties on his table that the manager would have. But now there's such a long list of staff in the modern game. I mean, from set piece coaches, goalkeeping coaches, the physical coaches, the fitness coaches. You've got the director of football or sporting director, then you've got the sports psychologist, and then you've got the sports scientists who are involved with nutrition and all of these. The staff complement of a modern football club is huge compared to what it used to be. So it can get a bit confusing. South Africa's still lucky enough to have a lot of coaches, almost traditional coaches, like managers or coaches. But I mean, if you look at European football now, you've got managers that are almost not coaches necessarily. They're manager who have a team of coaches doing coaching. Talk to me about the director of football role in a modern football club.
Before I talk to you this, one thing important, the people who want to watch this good program, South America no copy for any continent. We no copy. We stay where we are and we learn where we are. Modern football, it can be in the moment, but football no change. It's still 11 against 11. And when I play football, I play myself in 5 continents. I play in 5 continents. I play South America continent. I play in Australia, Ocean continent. I play in Hong Kong. I play in Germany. And I play in Costa Rica. I mean, I play in the 5 continents. In football, no change. Your knowledge, you no buy knowledge. Knowledge coming with you, but you upgrade your knowledge. In which way? You go to watching training and professional team. I had the honor to be in Real Madrid when I was in Pirates. The chairman sent me there. I meet Vicente del Bosque. I speak Spanish. I meet personal Zidane, Figo, really Ronaldo. And then I talk about football. And then I meet Alex Ferguson in Manchester United. Several coaches I meet in the list. And I pick it up one point about. But in general, it's the way you approach the game. The way. Because if you copy, you need to have this characteristic of player to you, but we don't have.
Right.
The meaning is, why England is transformed? Not because the English coaches, the foreign coaches. Because remember, England, it was the only country in the world who was playing long ball. The tiger, the striker. It was not this overlapping.
4-4-2.
I play in Hong Kong against Bobby Moore.
Yes, so Bobby Moore.
Correct, the center back. You understand what I say? I play against Maradona. I play against Platini. I play against Beckenbauer. The thing is, what I want to say to you, modern football is changed according to your concept. The football is, before, remember, the football was exhibition game, the style of play. In France player never know to marking. France football was the more elegant football in the world. But looking now, what is the pressing? What is now?
Tactical.
Correct. When Pelé was player, this is for me. One Pelé, second Ronaldo. I'm sorry. One Pelé, second Maradona, and after you have Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. But before this, came Ronaldinho. I cannot change. I cannot change. And what doing Messi? It's exactly what he's doing Maradona. Exactly what doing Pelé. I mean, he showed you the football no change.
Yes.
What he changed is the business who people create this modern football, set play, marking song, no marking individual. It's a business.
Yeah.
People now, you have the GP, to check the run. You go to tell Maradona never had the GP.
No.
Pelé never had a GP. I never had a GP. You understand what I say? But football is one people need to understand. It's coming from early age.
Yes.
We in South America, we development from early age. We start in the school, we have coaches, not teachers. In the township, we have coaches who study because it's the rules, the federation. Now, when you're talking about technical director, let's divide the word. Technical and you director. You're in charge of the technical aspect of the team. Now, when the chairman, Dr. Cosa, asked me in 1996 to come into Pirates, Pirates no had development.
No.
He had the coach who was Eric, who passed away, who had 2 divisions. And Mr. Chacane, one of the officials, was Kid the Kid, and he played in the street. And then when we start this road, and then the chairman asked me in his house in the Plus, please, create for me, because he is passionate to young players. And he liked straight to mix white, black, color, India. He's his way. His way. And then myself, the first thing what I did is in 6 months to know all the cultures in South Africa. The Zulus, the Xhosa, the Sotho, the Swana, to know.
Understand culturally, fundamentals of each of those groups.
The problem there. Why? Because in some of the culture, the children, he can't see the eyes of the father. He talking like this. He can't eating in the same table of the father. You can't talk about sexual aspect. In different things. Understand? Now I need to understand this. The meaning is, it was football and you want to confront the parents, the family. But what is the problem? The problem is the typical player in the township, the chibobo. He don't know where to apply the technical aspect in which time. And then we have. And then I create the manual. I create the syllabus. I call in ex-players, Tebogo Molloy, Bashi Maslango, Berna Lechosi, Black Sunday, Chris Masibuko, the later the Macaña. You understand? And then this is, the technical director is the person who, in the top, to create with what? First, the philosophy. I not create the philosophy. It's the philosophy Orlando Paira had for years. And then what is the culture? What is the system? What are the characteristics of play? These 4 create to you the way the team need to play.
So you were responsible for installing that philosophy and that culture throughout all the levels of the football club.
Correct.
And it started most importantly from the bottom of the youth development, is that these are the sort of players we want to develop with this sort of attitude towards the game. And this way we're going to make them the most effective footballers. So like you mentioned, the township Shibobo football, it's great skill and technical ability. Of course, we love that in football, but how do we make that effective? How do we make that win titles? How do we make that into a culture and a philosophy that's going to carry this football club forward for years and generations? And you were installing that philosophy in the young players, and you had to make sure that that philosophy was consistent at all levels of the club.
You need to consider, when I come in here, I never saw Kaisa Motau play. I never saw Chipa Molloy play. But I play against Jomo. But Jomo played for Pirates. And Pirates had a system for years who was 4-4-2. And this 4-4-2 played by the wings. Helma Makelele, it's typical. And then he had the midfield, the Bogo Molloy, etc., etc. Now, myself, and all my stay in Pirates, when I have the opportunity to coach Pirates senior team, I play with the wings. I don't care about modern football. Me, I don't care.
No 4-5-1, no 4-3-3,
I care about the
4-4-2
striker.
wingers.
I coach Benny McCarthy, Mavena, etc. To number too many players, no? And then I have Andy Lejale, I have Pamais, I have Benny Vilacas. You must remember, Pirates, it was the first club in the world who played 7 players from development in the derby. It not happened until now. Not happened. He was Taban Radebe, who now changed the surname for Estema Radebe in the goal. And then you have Benny Vilacasi in the middle. You have Solimate. And then you have the late Aguil Eremi. You have Jose Macaña. You have Lebojan Moquena. And you have Pomoso Manense. And you know, counting yet Leslie Mayantela because he was passed away. The mean is, we had a gluck of players who coming from the development, and he was playing. And he was playing. The mean is, you we have Manchester United who has 5 players, Beckham, etc., etc. But and then in the bench, it still has development players. We had the honor to have one player who played the first game in the World Cup, Lucas Tuala. He came from the development, the Pirates, and the left back. He played his World Cup. Now, I no dispute or deny anyone who want to play young player or no young player. But if you don't have the development basic, then what you do? Buy.
And speaking of development basics, Prof, what would you say is the state of development football right now in South Africa? Would you say it's in a good state or not?
No.
And if so, what should be improved and what is going wrong? Please tell us.
You watch last night Bafana against Algeria.
Oh, yes, sir.
Let's look in how many young players was there. Let's see how many.
Yeah, the Bafana squad's quite old in terms of the successful squad.
Correct.
The
now,
successful squad.
We had any player from under 70 national team, from under 20 national team. I know guilty the coach, because the coach looking for success. And he's looking to put the team to play the qualification. This thing is not coming from him, it's coming from the country.
Too late.
Exactly. Now, I want to put you the case you had the league, who call it GDL, Gauteng Development League, but he mixed between PSL club and academic club, who in other countries you can have. You had the DDC is development thing. I mean, the PSL need to have his own junior league. And Pyra, before, remember, Pyra made a record. We had 235 players living in 2 places in Mayfair, from under 12 until senior. The mean is,
that's a lot of people to
Pirates invest a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it need to be recognized. No? But the problem coming is the short and long process. If the player coming at 12 years, I mean you will have 4 years. Now some club no want to invest.
No.
Because on the first thing you need to invest money.
Success right away.
And then the money not there. But before, life also was not too expensive like now.
Yeah.
I mean Pirates, you too. Pirates, I can tell you, monthly, you can say to you 300,000 rand for in the man. Because he need to take player to the school. He need to take a player to training. Player need to travel in home for holiday. I mean, you talk about millions of rand in the year.
Yes.
And the chamber was invest this. You understand what I say? But now...
And they have to invest in the senior squad as well. Because they need success today as well.
If the senior team not doing well, then it's negative.
Then you have to invest. You need to purchase players.
But now, what kill also the development is too many agents who promise people, I taking you there, I pay. And you have players who pay 100,000 to go to England, and then end of the day, you never make.
Yeah.
The reason for me, the technical director is the person who put all the technical structure. 1, training program, player system, behavior of the coaches. The coach must be qualified, guiding the coaches, the discipline aspect. One of the negative aspects in South Africa is time management. People like to arrive late.
And it's not many years after you became technical director at Pirates that they achieved the historic treble in 2010. And you certainly see that influence in the volume of youth development players that were in that Pirates squad as well. And it shows the key importance in that. What's gone wrong now currently, if you're comfortable answering that question, with development? And I suppose it's not exclusive to Pirates. We see it everywhere. Is it a cultural issue of young players today, the mentality, the mindset of players today, young players, or is it the systems failing them?
I think guidance. You need to understand something. The coach is not only the coach, it's the father, it's the brother, it's the friend, it's the guidance. But what happened is we had this habit. The boy comes, you train him, bye-bye. You never know where he stays. You never know where he's eating. You never know where he's school. You never know the parents. The thing is, the coach is the leadership in all aspects. But in South Africa, it's difficult. You have the coaching association, okay? But I ask you, how many times the coach of the PSL, 3 or 4, 5 meet together to talk? We know, maybe individual. South American, no.
Talk to each other all the time.
5, 6 coaches there tomorrow. We meeting, example, on Rosebank. We meeting in Santo.
Even rivals.
No, but no matter. It's what you feeling. Enemies, we calling in the game. But after, nothing happened.
Colleagues.
His colleague. They say to you, a coaching association is a long way to understanding. You understand what I say? Because he need to guide in the rest because we coming more years and then he coming young. If we had a coach in South Africa, yes, we have. And you had ex-players also who be coaches. You have, for example, the case of Tebogo Molloy, Dr. Kumalo, you have Neil Toby, you have Matt Fish, you have many you can mention to you. Andy Arense, MacG, you have. But we don't have the school of coaches. Where coaches can be, we don't have library. The thing is, it's a long way in South Africa to understand the development. And another thing is the identity of football in South Africa we don't have. You
it's
have
all over the place.
One team play another way, another team play another way. You will not have this in South America. You will not have this.
It's like England as well. Also has a split in the philosophy across the different clubs.
And the moment you watching English football, you're not watching any more long ball, building the game from the back.
It had to change because of the foreign.
Building the game from the back.
Yeah.
Understand what I say? But the difference is you got too many foreigners in the lineup.
So there's not a set philosophy.
Correct. This is the reason in youth development, England, you cannot say champion Olympic, or the 20, or the 70, because it's the mix. You understand
Brazil doesn't look that different today to what they did 20 years ago in terms of philosophy, mindset of football.
In South America, it's very difficult for you to hire Euro coaches. It's possible, it was there, but it's around the continent. And like you say, here, around Africa.
But there's a lot to pick.
But remember, when you talk about in the continent, it's people who born in South America. The Peruvian he can coach in Argentina. The Argentinian can coach in Chile. But you cannot say, I call the German coach.
No.
Or you call the Holland coach. It maybe this Holland coach, he was coached in Spain. You understand?
But I remember even thinking back to the days of Pele in Brazil, where the Brazilians, after the success of Italian football, the Brazilian public was almost like saying, hey, we want to, we need to be successful like Italy. And there was a lot of this push to make the Brazilian philosophy of football more Italian. And it didn't work. It wasn't working. And Pele came along and played a real Brazilian philosophy way of playing. And it was successful.
And you must remember, it's not mean if you was a professional player, you can be the best coach. No. You have Feola, the first coach of Brazil. He never played football. You have Pereira. He never played football. You have Mourinho. He never played football.
No. He was a translator.
The translator. I mean, Mourinho was the translator de Bobby Robson.
Yeah,
understand what he said?
Yeah.
He took when Bobby Robson arrived in Portugal. He was needed translator in Portuguese.
Yes.
And then he saw Mourinho, his ability of football. He made his assistant.
Yes.
And then he take it to Holland, he take to Barcelona.
Barcelona.
And then when after Bobby want to go back to Newcastle, and then Mourinho say, no, let me to take my way.
And then he went to
remain
Porto.
in Porto. Yeah, they tell you, it's not me, you need to play a football professional to be the coach. But if you don't have the passion, it's going to be difficult. Because now your mind is only about money. It's about the salary. It's as simple as this.
There's too many people who love this sport for you to come in just for money.
And you say something very important. Physical trainer. Now you have the analysis. Someone the analysis want to be the coach. The thing is, you not separate your function. You want to involve in function who is not your function. You see,
Your team must be a team on the pitch, and the team off the pitch needs to be a team as well.
did I say to you, and I want to say again, South Africa had great talents. From Mutata to Limpopo, I went there. I did the rock showing and the 20 national team. I went to the 5-2 province myself to see talents we have. But you need time. And one of the weakness aspects also in South African football is nutrition. Our players in nutrition is very weak.
From a young age.
Yes, from young. And two, also the way you develop players from early age, when you need to talk about the body structure, because football is a contact. And especially you want to Euro want the contact. I mean, you need a physical strength. And one of the 75% of players in South Africa who go to overseas is also family sick. He not prepared mentally properly. You understand what I say? And I tell you the case of Life Foster. Life Foster from 12 years, I was with him. And we talk. Like in my academy, when I talk to players de 12 years, 13 years, I tell him, hey, you can't play here. You need to look in where to play. You need to build your families. You need to retire your mother. Your father must be with you. It's not time for girlfriend. It's not time to buy expensive car, the 1 million. Buy the house. It's not time to buy expensive clothing or watch or shoes. This is my advice also. And school need to be combined. No, if, for example, this perception now, when it's matric, you don't have time to play football. But by school in matric also. Who said this? It's here. It's mental. When you want to success, you need to sacrifice. And when you sacrifice, it's no friends.
It reminds me so much of your story.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Coach, just Prof, just picking off what you're saying right now about, you need to sacrifice, you need to not just focus on wanting to be here, but to the top. And what we are seeing in South Africa is that we do have many talented players. What would you say is the reason why most of our players do not end up playing, in other continents, and I'm talking Europe specifically right now?
We need to have what we call a life skill with the players and life skill with the family. We need to guide the family. If the boy is single, he still needs to live with the parents. You can check the player who live in the township and the family don't have money, and the club give to him money for transport, suppose 500 rand. And after 2 years, now you sign the professional contract, you start earning 30,000 rand. Who guiding him? Where you put this money? Where you save this money? Now the boy, the club give the accommodation, or the club say, etc., the boy going to stay alone. Who never happened previous. And then the family always also know matured and about way to invest money. And the family also to start spend money. The other reason I say to you, the guidance of players is in the development. And when the player write to the professional, he need to guide the player and the family.
Prof, tell me, did you try to install these philosophies when you were sporting director?
In
This was a big part, big time.
And Pirates,
So-
one of the team, the chairman have 100% relationship with the family. And in calling, when the player sign his first professional contract, the family come into the office.
conversation,
The
constant
chairman,
communication.
The chairman talk, etc., etc. And when he had any problem, the chairman is there. But you must remember also, another serious problem you have here is the change of the surname. If the mother had a surname, now the father coming and want to change the surname. But you don't know you want to change the surname because of the money who the boy is professional or for love. I mean, it's a lot of aspect and culture aspect who influence. And we need to guide in the players.
It's a lot of responsibility on a football club.
You have players who go to Europe, but it's back to play here. It's back to play here and still continue playing. Why not continue playing there? And my question is very simple. I don't try to criticize anyone. I only talk about my experience. And my experience is, and the development is not only about kick the ball. It's about the life. And the life need to be guided. And you have role models. You have look at Lionel Messi, where is him now? How many kids he had? 3. And in the first time you see Messi go to the mall in Miami, because in Barcelona was impossible. Looking Cristiano Ronaldo, where is he? What he achieved? Mané, Senegal.
You can see the discipline, the personal life discipline, as well as the professional discipline of those players.
The family need to be together, but you had a case, the separate, the mother living one side, the father, and then it's conflict, it's interest of conflict. But I had the honor myself, to be closer to many families. I had the opportunity, and then obviously some players listen, some players don't listen, But I believe, for example, you mentioned something important. Sporting director coming from Europe. We don't have a sporting director in South America. No, we had a sport director or football director. You understand? You had one. But the role is the same, technical director, sporting director, and then you have now head of development, you understand? And then, I don't know, position you can make it, but what is your role? What is your role?
And that'll depend on the club's philosophies, right? So a technical director, if the club's philosophies are we need to restructure the first senior team, that's your job as a technical director. But if the club's philosophy requires youth development.
And the relationship between the senior technical team with the development. If the coach of the development go to watch the senior team, what is the communication? What is the graduation of players from development to the first team? When you graduate, and what age you graduate players? Were you scared to graduate players for 16 years, 17 years? Why? And this empire, we graduated for 16 years. Leboham Mokwena was 16 years when we graduated. You understand? But the only thing different now is too much pressure for club to win the league.
Yes.
And when coaches
success.
And when coaches coming obvious, he don't know the club.
And he comes with his own ideas, his own philosophies.
And this was something who I standing, I laughing when I see interview coaches who say, I come with my philosophy. I say, wow. You mean you want to change the history of this club?
Orlando Pirates.
Let us say, Orlando Pirates, Kasachi, Sandown, he has his own philosophy. In my opinion, to not criticize anyone, no coach can come in to say, I play with his philosophy. The philosophy is the club. He need to continue this philosophy of the club. If the club never have,
yes, or refix the ideals of the existing philosophy, right? So sometimes a club will stray from their philosophy. And like you said, when you went to Pirates, you were like, I'm not changing the Pirates philosophy. No. I refuse. But you made sure that when you're there, let's see what's wrong with the practices of the philosophy, and let's fix those practices in order to return to the correct philosophy that this club holds.
Remember, you to apply the philosophy, you need to select characteristic of players. You know which player you select. You can't duplicate players. This is the reason I say to you, what Manchester City do or what Liverpool doing is completely different. And you look Xavi in Barcelona, he's not doing. He's not doing. And he play in Barcelona.
He should know.
Correct. You understand what I say? He say to you, football is not complicated. Football is observation, apply, in 24 hours.
Speaking of football not being complicated, but I think this one is a bit of a complicated matter. News have come out that I'm a friend of yours, I'm sure, and as well as a colleague for over 20 years, Chairman Ivan Khoza might not want to bid to be president of the PSL. Tell me your thoughts on that, and do you think that there is a person who right now possesses the leadership qualities that Mr. Ivan Khoza did?
I have my comment before, and what I believe is if the chairman he can be in one thing more, in one period more, and then there in this period, he must guide in the person who going to replace him.
Oh, his successor.
He must working together with him, he must observing him, and then the sponsor he can know who going to replace him. You understand what I say? Because he's going to be strict like this. Now, the knowledge he have, and the spirit he have, he need to be transferred. Obviously, if he retire, he always going to be consultant aspect, but I believe he need to have another period, and then the person or the two-person candidate, he need to be working closer to him to see what is the dynamic, what is happening.
He must mentor his successor.
Correct. Because we can mention names, but to sit and to deal is completely different. And that's what I say to you. To coach Pirates, to coach Chief, to coach Sundown, it's not the same to coach Polokwane or another club. It's not to offend, it's not to undermine, because the responsibility is completely different. I mean, what the chairman, in a part, remember, the chairman of the World Cup 2010, he was him. I mean, you talking to the person who played roles in high level. You understand what I say? And I cannot mention Kaisa Motau because for the age, the same thing. But he been in football how long? And he played football. Now, I mean, he need to have the person who had this passion in football. You understand? And to be knows the league, it must continue progressing. Because my main worry is what happens if we don't have this guidance. And remember the time when the National Fair Division, the NTA, dropped the sponsor. The chairman find the Mosepe Foundation straight to a sponsor.
Oh, yes.
Or and then going to be out. But this is because the relationship with the chairman had with Patrick Mosepe. You understand my point? If you talk about NetBank not going to say, hey, I can do this. It's a personality, the person who takes responsibility. And this is my belief. And remember, before in Safa, it had different sponsors. And the 70 had one sponsor, and the 20 had one sponsor, and the 23 had we don't have now. The only who had is Mañana, Sasso.
Sasso, yes.
The rest we don't have. We don't have. And you mention who is the sponsor of Bafana in the moment? Who? We don't have.
Only a technical sponsor.
Correct.
Le Coq Sportif.
Correct. They say to you must, I don't criticize Mr. Danny Jordan. No, I don't criticize. No. I respect everyone. But we need to look at factor.
It's fine. I'll criticize on your behalf.
It's my style really, but
Yeah.
I believe you need to understand what is leadership. We drop a lot of sponsors in Safa, and clubs don't have a sponsor. Look in the situation of the Morocco Swallows. No, you have clubs in the moment in PSL, he cannot manage to pay salaried players in time. And either reason I say to you, planning and organization is very important. You planning myself to come in here almost 3 weeks.
Yes, sir.
And we keep it in contact until today. Now, in football, it's the same. We had a talent in this country. Yes, we had a talent. I know the best coach, I'm the simple coach. But be in this beautiful country, the talent is a lot. But you need to be dedicated. You need to be dedicated. Remember, when you had a group of players, 30 players, you need to know his temper, his characteristic, what his approach. Players is injury, player is in the bench, player frustration or hard game time, player is learning. Now you need to have this aspect. You understand what I say? But every coach running in his way. I running in my way.
Prof. Palacios, I know that you've given us a lot of your time already and we've got to wrap up soon. There's a couple questions that we've got here from Super Sub, our co-host here on the show. He wanted to know a few things, and I'm going to have to pick some of them out because we're going to run out of time.
No problem.
Your top 5 Orlando Pirates players of all time. He's a big Pirates fan, so that's his question.
Yes.
Your top 5 Pirates players.
It's a tough question, huh?
Very difficult. Very difficult, because when people ask me this question, you had different time. When you play 1997, 1998, you have Benny Villacasi, Joseph Bacaña, Pomoso Manense, Leboja Mukwena. When you come in another time, 2000, you had Troce Colea, Censo Moiva. It's very difficult for you to identify. And remember, and you have players who growing in Pirates and players who coming to Pirates. Okay, the Benny Macate, is coming to Pirates successful. It's very, you have Lucky Lejuate, you have the Bogo Moloy. It's very difficult you to identify, and I'll be very selfish to say
choose.
this is a fine.
That's a very good answer. Very diplomatic,
very diplomatic. I love that.
Speaking of Benny McCarthy, what was he like to coach? I think there's certain players, and you always hear coaches say it, is that you sort of just leave those alone. You leave them to do what they do.
No. All the players for me is equal. It no matter where you play, no matter where you are, for me you are the same. I treat players equal. Benny contribute to the success of Orlando Pirates, like the other players I say. Disciplined player, hard worker. I remember when I took the 12 games, after the call out from Brazil, he was left the club. Benny was a little bit heavy in weight, but he hired his nutrition aspect. He had,
Personally?
Yeah, his nutrition aspect. He was reduced because he told him previously he cannot play more than 20 minutes. But I played him 90 minutes.
And he played.
I mean, for me, players, you need to take the negative and the positive aspect, and you need to help. Some players you don't need to help inside the field. You need to help outside the field, because mental approach. And this is the reason for me, football, and to coach too many good players. Too many good players is an honor for me. And young coach, looking Rulani now. I have good communication with him, and people never know him.
That's a club with a good philosophy currently, isn't it? Mamelodi Sundowns.
But apart from philosophy, they hard work.
Yes.
You know who choose the players.
And it doesn't matter who's the manager in the structure. There's continuity in the club's philosophy
exactly.
throughout.
They said to you, when I have my academy, Augusto Palacios Apprentice Academy, and what I call an apprentice is because the player need to start the foundation. And what is the foundation? The technical aspect. You free. Let to pass the player who have 5 years. He come and enjoy the academy. He kick the ball, but we put a small goal there. This is where you need to go. I mean, he know what is the objective. You understand? Now, for me, the more important in my academy is to teach the basic aspect. And the basic aspect is the technical aspect. If you don't have the technical, you cannot play. And this is something we emphasize. The technical aspect is coming after. We convert position in players. If the striker can play central back, can play. And all my coaches coming from township. And I need to have from zero. Time management, dress code, discipline with the player, voice command, the way to talk. I mean, it's not only about the academy. And remember, it's involved my wife, is involved my children, my son Augusto, my daughter Gabriela, and his family also, the Terren, Garrett, and my grandchildren. It's involved also there. And Alessandro is growing, and Mariela is growing, Adriano is growing, Santiago is growing. The thing is, the family is involved. And also I have my brother-in-law Ricardo, the administration, and Jonathan, my nephew. I mean, the family is involved in the academy. And the more objective is this player who coming from disadvantaged family, one day he will helping the family to buy the house, to living together. Because football is a business. But when you conformize, and then it's not the player, you need to have ambition to growing, and to growing.
And the right ambitions.
Correct. That ambition.
Not a Mercedes-Benz, a house for your family.
$1.5 million car you buy, and then and you don't see one day you're going to marry, and your children need to grow. It's not matter you put them private school, you can put them public school, but the foundation home, the routine. You arrive home, you make your bed, you wash your dishes, and the thing what he say.
And like you were taught, you study and you pass your grades, and then it's football.
Exactly.
There's fundamental, strict discipline and roles and responsibilities, and that sacrifice is so important for young
you
people.
have players 12 years, expensive cellular, expensive soccer booth. Why? And then what the player going to think? Your father had a car. He take it to training. After training, take it to McDonald's. After McDonald's said to you, no, let you go to pay the ticket. You pay the ticket 2,000 rand. Now you have now with ambition to have this player. Where he going to fight for his life? It means it's nothing, because I comforted, I receive everything. But now, he I making in a school? He I making a food? No, because I had a mother and the father. And this is something who I tried, to convince, parents. And remember, you have parents who say, no, my son is the best. But when he play, the best way.
Yeah.
And all these things, we had this situation. But one thing I must say to you, until I died, this country has great talent of players. But sometimes we don't recognize. And sometimes when we have young players, we put in 10 minutes, and after, bye-bye. And you don't know where this player. And remember, the young player already had a girlfriend. The girlfriend then go to the party, and the girlfriend, hey, I need to buy the shoes. And then he laughed. And then 3,000 rand white shoes. But where the family? The thing is, the combination of football is involved the club, is involved the family, is involved the coach. You understand? But if your mind is more money, you will not succeed. Because success coming, and after coming the money.
Well, that's why your coach didn't make you sleep with a pile of money in your early days at the camp. He made you sleep with the ball, and that's what's most important.
And not only this, when I saw the situation, the apartheid here, I mixed in the camping. The white sleeping with black player. The color sleeping with them. I never allow this thing, the white sleeping together. I never allow. And the same way we sitting. In the same way.
And we saw in the early years of that transition, the success it brought to South African football.
I said to you, I is the honor for me in my age, 72, to be here in South Africa my whole life. My children marry here. I have grandchildren. And this country give to us the great opportunity. But in the meantime, the foundation I have for my parents, it never changed. My children follow, my grandchildren follow. We were united, we were together. And I not change also my principle of football. I will not change. No matter this person pay me 100,000 rand, I will not change. I will go with my principle. I'm a professional person. And the passion to development player, it will be there until I die. Because it's my passion. It's my passion.
That's very clear, Prof.
My final question to you, Prof. How would you like to be remembered?
remember that when I come in here, I have problem with apartheid because my wife is white. I have problem with understand me. And still people believe I'm a foreigner, but I citizen South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing important to remain me, that my football, it was the passion to development players. And the passion to share football to anyone. I was not selfish to share my life, but I the very hard work and very disciplined. And I like things to organize properly. I don't want things who not success or explain. No, I know I want planning organization. And this is what is I learning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the legacy I can leave is football. It can build family. Football, he can make the person to change your life. Too many African players play in Europe and change his life tremendous. You know, when I read and I watching this player Mané from Senegal to build 2 schools, to build 1 hospital, to build 1 stadium for 1,000 capacity people. When I see Lionel Messi to give breakfast to 2,000 students in Mozambique, and when I see this thing, I wish I can have money myself enough to coach for free.
Yeah.
You have too many people in the street who good player but no have guidance. But I want to remember myself, who are the person who coming here to continue the great football who had this country, but to start with the early age. This is my passion with the early age.
Prof.
Beautiful.
Palacios, I couldn't finish this off any better, and it's clear to all of us your passion for development in the youth of the game, and perhaps some of the clubs that we won't mention that are perhaps further down the pecking order than what they used to be and where they should be need to take your words into consideration and stay committed to philosophy. Go back to their old philosophy of their club, make it right, structure it right, teach the proper mental side of the game properly through the youth development, and then they'll go back to the highs that we've seen from them in the past. Thank you so much for joining us on this.
No, it was my pleasure, to come into the ONSIDE, and the pleasure to invite, and especially to share football. Who sometimes I share football with my coaches, but to share football with the public is the best, because too many people maybe never know me, too many young players, too many young people. But one thing, the message I can say is nothing is impossible in life. You have determination to achieve. Thank you for your invitation.
I love that. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
joining
much,
us.
Prof.
Tsepi, darling, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you to you, the ballers, for joining us as always. This has been Onside ZA, brought to you by Betway. Get away more. We do have a giveaway, so be sure to get into those comments on YouTube. We've got the Betway bucket hat that you saw Tsepi sporting during our normal broadcast show. We'll be giving away that bucket hat as well as an extra large Betway t-shirt which matches what I'm wearing here. Just be in the comments. Make sure to let us know that you are an extra large in size. Get in the comments, and then also send messages through and follow our Instagram page, our TikTok, etc., etc.
Yes, and very, very quickly. So your academy, sir, is called Augusto Palacios Academy in Mayfair.
Apprentice Academy.
Apprentice Academy.
Yeah,
So, yes, sir.
you can contact Ricardo in 082 97 77 335. We base it in Johannesburg Secondary School in Mayfair.
Mayfair, yes. So I think we'll have the details.
We'll
at the
put those
bottom of the
details
screen.
in the description below for
Yes.
YouTube. But from all of us here at Onside, Betway, Prof. Palacios, thank you so much and goodbye. Danko.